Academy, living from renewed faith, taking faith, filled action. What's up, family? Welcome back. Listen, in our last session, we identified and dismantled limiting beliefs, right? Today, we're going to take a crucial step, the next step. We'll learn how to cultivate and empower Christ centered mindsets that move us into action. Once our minds are renewed, we must begin living out our transformation, and that requires intentional, faith filled steps. Now, let's ground ourselves in scripture. James chapter 2 verse 17 says, "Faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead." In other words, faith doesn't stop at belief. It moves us toward action. And Philippians chapter 4 verse 8 reminds us, "Whatever is true, noble, right, think about these things." Our mindset shapes our thoughts, and our thoughts shape our actions. So today, we'll not only anchor ourselves in God's truth, but also create daily habits that align with that truth. So, first, let's talk about vision. When we move from belief to action, we need a clear vision, a picture of where God is leading us. Your vision is not just a distant dream, it's grounded in God's promises. Take a moment now to ask, what is God calling me towards? What is one area, spiritually, personally, or professionally, where I sense His invitation for growth? Let me explain something to you. So many people who know me, I have keratoconus, which means my corneas are not shaped like everyone else's. Most people's corneas are round. Mine, unfortunately, are pointed like footballs versus basketballs. Okay. So I have one cornea transplant in my left eye, but my right eye, I still have the keratoconus where the cornea is pointed. So it allows my perception to be distorted. So, for example, if you have like yellow steps, I have to be very cautious around yellow steps because I can't trust what my eyesight sees, right? The vision that my own sight, not vision, my own sight, I can't trust what it sees. So you'll see a lot of times if there's yellow steps or steps that distort the perception, I'll kind of scoop my foot to the end of the step to make sure or to find the end of the step so I know when to step down, because other than that, I would fall. So I've learned how to compensate for my sight. And because of that, I do not move with confidence, or I do not take the next step with confidence because my perception is distorted. So we want to make sure that we learn how to even tap into God. What is it that you would have me see? Or what is the vision that you have for my life that I do not depend on my own sight? Okay. So once you have that vision, we'll break it down. Think about it like this. Your vision is a mountain, and each day you take small steps towards it. What are 3 specific actions you can take this week to get closer to that vision? Be concrete. It might be committing to a morning prayer habit, reaching out to someone in mentorship, or setting a goal for a project. Write these steps down. Take the time. You can pause this right here to write these steps down so that we can go forward. I want you to take this very, very seriously, okay? So pause this right here and then we'll continue on. Next, we need to build a daily assignment, or I'm sorry, a daily alignment. We're going to build a daily alignment. This is where faith meets practice each morning before you begin your day. I want you to spend about 5 minutes with God, asking Him to guide your action. Then choose one small action tied to your vision and commit to it. This keeps you from being overwhelmed and ground you instead of in steady progress. Okay. Remember, small steps in faith create big momentum over time. Now, I want to challenge you with this powerful question. Where are you hesitating because of fear or uncertainty? Remember, I talked about the fact because of my perception was distorted that I hesitate on taking the next step if it's something I don't trust, right? I hesitate on that next step. So ask yourself, where do you hesitate because of the fear or uncertainty? Often, once we have a vision, we get stuck because we want immediate certainty. I want to make sure that I don't fall, right? Just like I do. I want to make sure that I don't fall. So I kind of scoop my foot out, just to test the waters, okay? So it's kind of the same thing. We get stuck because we want immediate certainty, but God calls us to trust him step by step. Let's look at Psalms 119, verse 105. It says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." He may not show you the whole staircase, but he gives you enough light to take the next step. What's one step you can take today, even if you don't have all the answers? And listen, I know it may be a little scary, right? But this is talking about trusting fully in God. Do not trust in yourself, but trust God in you. Okay? Trust that God will, guide you, that if you do fall in this step, he'll dust you off, just like we do with children. Whenever a child is learning to walk, we and they fall down, we dust them off and we stand them back up to continue on, because that's a learning space, right? That's a learning space. So this is where we are right now. Okay. So another practical exercise every evening before you go to bed is I want you to reflect. Ask yourself, did I take one intentional step towards my vision today? What worked well and what felt hard? Then thank God for your effort, right? Even if the step was small, obedience is still action. Celebrate the progress, not the perfection. Okay? You don't have to be perfect. You have permission to not be perfect. Let's celebrate the progress and not the perfection. Let's also anchor in a reminder. Romans 8:28. Y'all know this is my favorite scripture. We know that in all things God works for the good of them who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. So when you act in faith, even if the outcome isn't immediate, trust that God is using each step. He is shaping you. He is growing your confidence, and he is preparing you for greater things. So listen, as we close on this lesson right here, I want you to write out your vision and your daily steps in your journal, okay? Grab your journal again. Now commit to these actions for 1 week. At the end of the week, come back and let's review it. What did God show you? That's the question, okay? You're going to ask yourself these things. What did God show you? What shifted in your mindset? And then what new confidence did you feel, or do you feel, right? So those are the three questions that you're going to review after 1 week. We'll come back to this and we'll make sure that we're really taking a conscientious effort to step towards the action of things, okay? So transformation is a journey, not a single leap, okay? But every faithful step you take builds your courage. Your trust in God and your capacity to live from his power, that's what it is, okay? So listen, I'm proud of you. Keep going, and next time we'll dive into how to sustain this momentum long term. Your exercise this week, okay, are you ready? Your exercise this week, let's write this down, is write down your vision, okay? Then we'll identify 3 daily actions, and each night reflect on your progress. Let's stay aligned. And I can't wait to hear how God moves through your next few steps, okay? Now, remember, if you change your mind, you'll change your life. This is Lady Queen.